Welcome back, and to know more about the role of youth in the political scene in Egypt, we're glad to be joined over the phone by Dr. Noura Mashour. She's a graduate of the Presidential Leadership Program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure having you also. In your point of view, the influence of youth participation on the government, how do you see the significance of youth participation and, of course, their role in the political scene in Egypt?
Youth participation in the political issues is very important, as through youth empowerment they gain experience, learn new skills, become responsible and accountable, and develop their confidence. And later, during the annual Egyptian family iftar, late of April, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi assigned the National Training Academy to conduct political dialogue between government, political and youth on the current priorities of national action, and to present its outcome to himself personally, and all segments of society will be invited to participate.
Right. Well, how do you assess youth participation in the current parliament?
There is a significant increasing in the number of youth representatives in parliament, and it's a very good opportunity for Egyptian youth to create channels of communication with the state through direct dialogue with officials, and deliver their voice and engage in the decision-making process. And when youth have the opportunity to organize, voice their opinion, and play meaningful role in political decision-making, youth demonstrates the willingness and ability to foster positives and give sense of belonging to the country.
Yeah, well, President Sisi believes that youth can lead the future, actually. How to build their character to be able to lead the country in the future?
Egyptian youth represents about 60% of the total population of Egypt, and the state depends on them for modern development plan. Youth empowerment is a word that was like a dream in Egypt until His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi assumed power in 2040, and the youth empowerment file on the top of his priorities, and there is very evident of Egyptian state taking several steps toward the goal at all levels through youth empowerment mechanism, like presidential leadership program to qualify youth for leaders, establish a national academy for youth, set many Egyptian youth conference, and set African Youth Forum and World Youth Forum, and assigning many leadership positions for youth.
In your opinion, as a graduate of political science and economics, and of course as also a graduate from the Presidential Leadership Program, to what extent did the program as a government's initiative succeed in achieving its main targets?
As I mentioned, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi put the youth file on the top of his priorities, and His Excellency launched the presidential leadership in 2050 for qualifying youth for leadership and creating a strong rich base of youth competent in order to be eligible for political, administrative and community work. And in my opinion, the program succeeded in creating a strong and rich base of young talent who are able to take charge of political and administrative work in many fields and government sector in a very short time, and they are very familiar with the latest management theories and their ability to apply modern models with high efficiency and well understanding the complex nature of the challenges that facing our country.
Yeah, do you believe that youth can play a role in preventing conflicts and sustaining peace?
Youth and peace are interlinked in society. Youth can play an important role in establishing peace in society as they can awaken the people toward the necessity of peace. And it's worth to be mentioned that through the third National Youth Governance Conference, the World Youth Forum emerged as an idea proposed by a group of Egyptian youth from Presidential Leadership Program to have a dialogue with World Youth and to have an effective platform founded by a group of promising young people to send message of peace, harmony, and it presents it to the whole world with young people from all over the world present
Yes.
in a rich international forum to express their opinion and come up with recommendations and initiatives and contact with leading decision making and thinking around the world.
Do you believe that youth can play a role in preventing conflicts and sustaining peace?
Hello?
Can you hear me? How do youth fit into the 2030 agenda of sustainable development?
Today, there is around 1.2 billion young people aged 15 to 24, according for the 16% of the global population, and the active engagement of youth in sustainable development efforts is central to achieving sustainable, inclusive, and stable society by the target date and to avoiding the worst threat and face the worst threats and challenges to sustainable development, including the impact of climate change, unemployment, poverty, gender inequality.
Yeah, the different national mega projects exerted by the government created a lot of job opportunities for the youth. What's your take on this?
Nowadays, the state has been working to improve the quality of life for Egyptian citizens by implementing several development projects, and the government has pumped investment worth around 1.1 trillion in project development, especially for Upper Egypt, which includes establishing the schools, roads, and infrastructure in all the village. And these projects give and have created many opportunities for youth.
Yeah, in your opinion, what's the role of the private sector in empowering youth?
The private sector, on average, provides around 60% of gross domestic product, 80% of capital flow, and 90% of job in developing countries. However, many private sector organizations hesitate to employ youth with few skills due to considerable time, money, and resources to train them. But it should be a youth workforce development program to engage youth and understand their needs, challenges, and also to provide them with the essential knowledge about business needs and market needs.
Yes, well, of course, the state is doing a lot to empower youth here in Egypt. Now, what do you think is the role of youth towards their country?
The role of youth in our country is to develop themselves and to catch the opportunity. As I mentioned, we are in a golden era for youth, and His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi put the youth profile on his priorities. So the Egyptian youth have to catch this opportunity and seek to develop themselves and enrich themselves with essential knowledge and essential skills.
Right. Well, also youth conferences were one of the very important initiatives that took place here in Egypt lately in the past few years. And it was a very important chance for youth to meet with other youth from different countries around the world, and especially youth forums, the international youth forums. How important is this to give the chance and opportunity to youth to mingle with different nationalities and create a bond with them, to exchange their knowledge and experience?
Today's youth need real opportunities to participate in political process and to contribute to provide practical solutions that advance development. When they have the opportunity to organize, voice their opinion, and play meaningful roles in political decision making, youth demonstrate their willingness and ability to foster positivities and also gain sense and belonging to their country. And as you mentioned, the World Youth Forum is a very, very good opportunity for youth, youth from all over the world to exchange their knowledge and exchange their views and take charge of political and exchange their views and have and become with very good recommendations and initiatives.
Do you think that youth around the world have the same common challenges and the same dreams?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Every youth all over the world has, as I mentioned, wants a real opportunity to participate and in the political process and contribute to provide political solutions and to advance development where they have the opportunity, as I mentioned, to organize and voice their opinions and play a meaningful and role in political decision-making process.
Well, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Noura Mashour, a graduate of the Presidential Leadership Program. Many thanks for joining us.